Mark! George! Jim! God damn it, I lost them all again. Damn it. Zombies, outbreak, all that shit. It's just... And my shotgun seems to be broken, so I guess that's not really any good ammo. Hello everyone! Today we're talking about the notorious Resident Evil Gaiden. Resident Evil Gaiden. Starfire finally looked at it, and we're here to talk about why it failed. Why is it hated so much? It has a fan base, and admittedly, I'm not a part of that fan base. I'm on the side. But I'm not gonna be like, it did try some innovative things for its time. And worldly, in my opinion, the best thing is, aside from a few Killer's faces and Leon's head having this kind of odd 3D look to it. I don't know, its head has an odd 3D look. Is that just me, maybe? But a lot of the monsters and the battle and the cutscenes have very nice detail to them. And on a Game Boy Color game, that's pretty impressive, to be honest. Though the music's pretty, to be honest, I'd go from here to there, you know. I wouldn't say it's dreadful, but I'd say it's kind of mixed feeling. It can be a little catchy, but the thing is, a lot of the songs are just little teeny parts that are repeated over. Not like a whole minute, but just like, some of them are just little 20, 30-second things just repeated over and over. It's, it can get kind of draining. But, so, why do we think it's fair? I think, personally, it has a lot to do with the fact that Capcom really had no faith in the game, to be honest. First, they were originally trying to port Resident Evil 1 to the Game Boy Color. And though those screenshots and like some kind of demo ROM, incomplete ROM thing flying around on the internet, and you can find screenshots of it, they didn't go with that. Whatever reason, whether they think it wasn't up to quality, failed, programming errors, or they looked at the Alone in the Dark game that came out and thought, maybe this ain't a good idea, which I don't know. I'm not sure what year that came out versus this. But basically, the few assets they had, they gave to another company and signed 2 people to go watch over that. So Capcom really had no development with the Evil Gaiden. But it did have some tips. Now it has like an overhead view, so you're seeing everything, you know, Ikero's like in the middle area and you see everything around him. So obviously you don't have the fixed camera point. So if you're just, I can't see anything over there because the camera's looking at me. Is anyone over there? Kind of problem. Not that that bothered me, but you know, not everyone's a fan of how Resident Evil did its cameras, obviously, so. That would be one thing. You know, to be honest, though, I find a lot of people who like Gaiden, I know very few. I don't know if Sega CD Universe falls under this, and that's actually what inspired me to make this video, is because he responded to me saying I didn't like this game, and I don't like the game. You know, everyone doesn't like everything. Everyone has their own little nitpicks and stuff, you know. But, you know, I kind of see that I think people who didn't like the Resident Evil franchise that much, like, you know, 1, 2, and that, seem to actually like Gaiden. So maybe if you hate Resident Evil, like, you know, the other Resident Evils, maybe you'll like Gaiden. I don't know. That seems to be the only reoccurring thing I find with most people that I knew that liked the game. But, I don't know. Be honest, the things I think that killed it when it came to its own fan base is the gameplay and the story. Now, the gameplay could be forgiving, in my opinion, like the battle gameplay. Like, I don't have a problem with the basic concept of it. Basically, you have a line on the bottom of the screen, and then you would have your enemy come. Now, when you're on the overworld, you can, like, say if you see a zombie over there, there's a button for pulling out, and you get a crosshair, aim at them, and you can basically initiate combat. And if you do it like that, you can get, well, they're at a distance, facing away from you, and they're like, uh, slowly coming, trying to get close to you, and like, so you can get, you know, a whole bunch of shots in it. Now, varying on the distance they are from you, their hitbox will be smaller or bigger. Bigger the closer, and smaller the farther away. It's just a box that's on top of the line, so it's easily marked. And then, well, pretty much any weapon. You have your knife, and then there's all the guns of Resident Evil. Now, basically how it does is you have a small block that's going back and forth between the sides of the screen. Basically, you hit your attack button when it goes into the hit radius. Now, knife will only work close range, obviously. So, when they're far away, you need a gun. Bang, 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 bang. So, its basic concept's not like it doesn't function. A lot of people freak out over it, though. Like, if you look on YouTube, a lot of people... But the thing that kills the combat to me is just how the final boss was designed. Basically, the final boss is immortal. It has no health. It's a scripted type fight. Instead of actually killing it through, you know, your survival instincts of what you saved in that, instead, it all comes down to bullet placing timing. Basically, without really going over the story, you're just trying to push them away. Now, enemies you can push away with strong attacks, repeatedly hitting them over and over again. So, you're trying to push the boss back to a certain point, and then you win the game. In the absolute final fight. And basically, if you either ran out of ammo, or you don't have enough ammo, I think if I remember, it was 9 times in a straight row. And that's only at the start of fight, which I think he starts kind of close, but not completely in your face, I think. I don't know. I'm a little rusty on my memory there, but either way, basically, you have to hit him multiple times in a straight row with a certain amount of ammo. Obviously, barrel guns have more effect. Though, in theory, you can do it with a handgun if you have enough ammo. Supposedly, it takes less shots the more powerful the gun is to push back, so if you waste all your ammo and all you got's the knife, you'll never ever win because he has no health bar, really. He just lives forever. It really sucks in that regard, in my opinion, and I have just horrible nightmares trying to beat this game. Because, on top of how that fight was, the save system's another issue. Unlike other Resident Evil games where you have like an item thing and you can save so many times, obviously, you know, future installments don't really have the limitation of how many times you can save anymore. But at the time, we were still in the classic Resident Evil time where you had like ink ribbon in there. Instead, the game uses a preset, like you get to this point in the story, you get a chance to save. One chance. If you cancel, that save screen ain't coming back until you get to the next point. So if you die in between saves, you go all the way back to that save. There's no like checkpoint or something in the stage. So there are certain segments that are lengthy, so it's kinda... And then if you have a problem with the last boss, you're just doing it over and over and over and over again, trying to kill him. It's just... ugh. But the other thing that a lot of people hate, and I really hate this, while I'm forgiving towards most of the combat aside from the final boss, the story I just hate. Yes, it's a side story, this is true. It's not part of the official storyline at all. But even with that, like considering its own story, I don't like it. I don't like the stupid ending, and I'm not going to really talk too much about it, but really it has a cheap cop-out, oh, there might be a sequel kind of ending, which, you know, I find a lot of games that do that don't usually ever get a sequel, thus leaving people in the dark to think, well, I wonder whatever happened to... find you, like, it's like, I wonder whatever happened to people in Carbach's jacket. I mean, really. I mean, you could at least give a satisfying ending, right? I would like that, I could forgive a really badish or kind of mediocre game that had a much better ending. But you're not going to really get that. And since it's a side story, and it's basically destined to never get a continuation of its story, it's just a cliffhanger for the sake of being a cliffhanger. And I hate that. I hate that unless there is like a guarantee. Like, that's the only reason I want to kill the people who made Virtue's Last Reward. Because they always went out and said, yep, we're making a sequel. And considering it's successful, they keep being... There's pretty much 100%, well, 99.9% chance it's happening. But, yeah, I don't really like it when there's a big cliffhanger game and then you just leave it like that. It's like developers are like, hey, you really like our game? Well, buy 5 million copies and shit, poor person, and we'll make a sequel so we can make you your satisfying ending. Above all, this game was an interesting experiment. Personally, you know what I would have liked? What if they took Sweet Home? Why is Sweet Home not in my hand? Just a second. What if we took Sweet Home? Because everyone knows I talk about Sweet Home all the time. And let's just paint it with Resident Evil. A Resident Evil RPG. Ooh. Something paying homage to what paid homage. That could be interesting. But that would be something Capcom would probably never do because they lost their soul! But I think Resident Evil Gaiden simply failed because its fan base couldn't get over the combat system overall. Because, you can't forgive the fact that it's on a handheld device that's... Isn't the Game Boy Color technically less so underpowered than the NES, basically? So, I mean, like, you got a limited power range here. It's not like you got so much power behind the Game Boy Color. I mean, there's interesting things you could do, but... I don't know. It's kind of... I think it had hope of trying to be something really good. But I don't think it met my quota for that. And I don't think it met a lot of other people's quota. But that doesn't necessarily mean you might not like it. You might like it. So you might want to check it out. If you can find it cheap, though. Sadly, it wasn't even Gaiden. Can be anywhere between $20 to $50. $20 to $50. I remember when I was trying to get the copy I owned, I got for $10. And that was with a lot of haggling and waiting. Like, originally the person was trying to sell it for $30, and I'd be like, no one's ever going to buy that. And it's like, after like a half year of not selling it, he's like, okay, you got me. I want to get rid of it. Here. But definitely, I would not say spend a lot on this game if you're going to try it. Because I don't really think it's worth it, in my opinion. But hey, Now, here's the parts I really want. I really like the idea of this video. Because, at the end, I can let you, wherever the hell YouTube moves the comments, which are going there, but it might be up there, or it might be in the middle of the video in the future. But wherever the comments is, I'd love to hear what you think made the game fail. Because that's kind of the point. We're here to talk about at least these segments, why it failed. We're kind of here to discuss why. I think it failed because the fan base just couldn't accept the difference of the combat, really, and the Capcom just didn't really put a lot more oomph in it. I mean, if they put a little more oomph in it, it could have actually been interesting, maybe. But that might be a subject of another time. So anyway, I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on that. Until next time, everyone, why did it fail? Ninja Gaiden? No, don't kill me, no!